Yes, little by little, the group stage of the European Championship is coming to an end. Most of the teams that will make it through to the knockout rounds have already been confirmed, and it's safe to say that we're in for some great and spectacular encounters. But first, let's take a look at the top 11 players from each group who have performed best in the tournament so far, but with the rule that we can't select more than 3 players from each country. Group A. To make things more entertaining, let's begin with the attack. We couldn't start with anyone other than Germany's 2 prodigies, Musiala and Wirtz on the wings. The 21-year-old scored the first 2 goals in the tournament for 1-0 and 2-0 in the 5-1 victory over Scotland on the opening day. Both are explosive for their age, and it's entirely possible that one of them will be named the young player of the tournament. At the top of our attack, we've positioned the evergreen Swiss, Xherdan Shaqiri, who scored one of the goals of the tournament against Scotland, which was a goal for him in a 5th consecutive major tournament for Switzerland since Euro 2016. A truly special player on the international stage. Next up are 3 midfielders, 2 of whom are among the best in the world, and the 3rd of whom is criminally underrated. Let's start with him, Scott McTominay. Yes, the Man United man is in his prime every time he pulls on the Scotland jersey and deserves to be in the team, especially after his crucial goal against Switzerland. Next to him, we have a big rival for McTominay on a club level, Dominik Szoboszlai. Expectations were high for him and Hungary, but they look set to go home after the group stage. Nevertheless, the Liverpool man is undoubtedly his country's best player. He had an assist in the opening game against Switzerland and could also have scored from a free kick in the second game had Manuel Neuer not made a terrific save. Finally, there's the great legend Toni Kroos, who is sadly playing his last games and would love to end his career with a European title. Can he do it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. In defence, we have 2 Swiss, 2 Hungarians and 1 Scot, as we can no longer use German players. Goalkeeper Peter Galaxy, 2 fullbacks, Manuel Akanji and Andrew Robertson, and 2 centre-halves, Willy Orban and Fabian Schär. Group B, Spain, Croatia, Italy and Albania. The group of death. As expected, the group of death at Euro 2024 did not disappoint, with some of the best matches of the tournament so far taking place here, with Albania being one of the pleasant surprises. So let's start with their goalkeeper, Tomas Strakosha. The Albanian goalie had done wonders for his nation, especially in the second round against Croatia, where he made 8 saves. Ahead of him are 2 of the best attacking fullbacks in the world, Spain's Dani Carvajal and Italy's Federico Di Marco. Carvajal, interestingly, will be making his first appearance at a European Championship for his country, and he capped his debut with a goal against Croatia. As for Di Marco, he is arguably the best left back in the game right now. A wonderful player. In the centre of defence, we have another Albanian, Berat Jimziti, as well as 22-year-old Maldini, Nesta, Cannavaro, aura inspirer Riccardo Calafiori, who could well be the sensation of the tournament with his maturity and excellent defensive interventions. In midfield, we have a fusion of 3 excellent ballers, Man City and Real Madrid maestros Rodri and Luka Modric, as well as 22-year-old Inter Milan prospect Christian Aslani. In fact, Modric is the only one with a question mark over his place in the squad, as he was not up to his usual standard against Albania, but he was still one of the best players on the pitch. And we finish it off with a very balanced attacking line. The super talent from Barcelona and Spain, Lamine Yamal, the already established as a top player Italian Federico Chiesa, and the veteran Croatian Ivan Perisic. Alongside Musiala and Wirtz, Yamal is one of the main contenders for the Young Player of the Tournament award after his outstanding performances in the first 2 games against Croatia and Italy, including a superb assist for Carvajal's goal in the first round. As for Chiesa, he was wonderful against Albania, the most electric player on the pitch, and was even a little unlucky not to score in that game. And Perisic, well, yes, he didn't start against Spain, but with what he showed after coming on and throughout the whole game against Albania, he fully deserves to be in the squad given the rules we've set. Group C, England, Serbia, Denmark, Slovenia. Speaking of England, most fans expected them to put on a flawless performance and qualify for the knockout stages with ease. However, all 3 of their opponents, Serbia, Denmark and Slovenia, proved to be tricky rivals and gave the star-studded English side plenty to think about. And when it comes to the best 11, we have Atletico Madrid goalkeeper Jan Oblak. This is the first international tournament of his senior career, and he's proved all the haters wrong who said he wouldn't be the same without the strong defenders he has at Atletico. In front of him at fullback are two other Slovenians, Eric Janza and Jan Karničnik, who scored the 2 goals for their country in the opening matches. One scored against Denmark, the other against Serbia. It's interesting to note that the attacking fullbacks have carried out their coach's instructions to perfection, exploiting the space available against their opponents. At centre-back, we have chosen the solid Dane Andreas Christensen and the underrated Strahinja Pavlovic. Neither of them were entirely convincing, but they'd been the best centre-half pairing based on the performances of the 4 teams in the group stage. Next up is arguably the best defender in the group so far, Christian Eriksen. The Dane has had the best story of the tournament, scoring after just 17 minutes in his first game since the nightmare of the last Euros when he collapsed with a heart attack. Next to him are Jude Bellingham and especially Morten Hjulmand, whose goal against England is another contender for goal of the tournament. Finally, in attack, we have Saka, who provided the assist for Jude's header against Serbia, Harry Kane, who earned the hard-fought point for the 3 Lions against Denmark, and Dusan Tadic, who deserved more playing time but still showed his creative class. Group D, France, Netherlands, Austria, Poland. Next up in Group D, we have Wojciech Szczesny in goal. Along with Robert Lewandowski, he is Poland's most experienced player, but in the absence of the Barcelona ace, the Juventus goalkeeper has been the great leader of his team. In front of him, again in a 4-3-3 formation, we put French duo of Jules Koundé and William Saliba. The Barcelona right back had plenty of experience in that position already, and is now being pushed by Didier Deschamps to play there in the national team as well. As for Saliba, the Arsenal man seems to have convinced the French coach that he deserves to be in the starting lineup ahead of the likes of Ibrahima Konate, for example. And it's safe to say that both Koundé and Saliba have been excellent so far. And when you look at the other men at the back, it's definitely the perfect back 4, as we've also brought in 2 Premier League players in Jakub Kiwior and Nathan Ake. Kiwior and Saliba know each other well, both playing for Arsenal, while Man City's Ake continues to impress for both club and country. He also assisted in the Netherlands' first goal of this Euros. In the centre of the park is 33-year-old N'Golo Kante, who was once again outstanding for France, especially in their first game of the tournament when he won the Man of the Match award. The other 2 midfielders are Austria's Konrad Laimer and Poland's Piotr Zielinski. Laimer is more of a box-to-box player, especially in defence, while Zielinski is a genuine creator who caused the Netherlands and Austria massive problems in Poland's first 2 games. And in the absence of Mbappe, who missed 2 games with a broken nose, we have the 2 players who gave the Netherlands their first 3 points, Cody Gakpo and Wout Weghorst, as well as the Austrian Marcel Sabitzer, who was their main driving force in attack. Group E, Belgium, Ukraine, Slovakia, and Romania. Next up is the most unpredictable group of all, Group E, which has seen the biggest upsets of the tournament so far. Starting with defence, 3 of our 5 picks come from Slovakia. Yes, a typical Balkan country, Slovakia has been inspired and very solid at the back. Their goalkeeper will be Newcastle's Martin Dubravka. With Nick Pope injured midway through the season, the Slovakian has taken over almost full time for the Magpies and seems to have warmed up well for the Euros. In the first game, he made some fine saves to keep a clean sheet against Belgium. His other 2 compatriots are fullback David Hanko and PSG centre-half Milan Skriniar. Both have been rock solid and deserve credit for Slovakia's first 3 points of the tournament. Completing our defence are 2 big London rivals in Radu Dragusin of Spurs and Alexander Zinchenko of Arsenal. They met in their first game of the group when Dragusin and his Romania thrashed Ukraine 3-0 to earn a place in our lineup. As for Zinchenko, he was one of the few positives for Ukraine and one of the more experienced players for his country. Next is the midfield, which is a balanced combination of the defensive solidity of Amidou Onana, the dynamism of Nikolai Stanciu, and the creativity and eye for goal of Kevin De Bruyne. Our third choice in the middle needs no further explanation. We all know the magic of De Bruyne, but the other 2 are quite interesting. Onana is one of the best ball winners in the game at the moment and has had some great games for Everton this season, as well as for Belgium at this tournament. As for Stanciu, the 31-year-old will be remembered for his stunning long-range strike against Ukraine in Romania's opening game. The attack will again be multinational, with Romania's Denis Mann, who's already having a big impact on his team, as well as Belgium's Lukaku and Ukraine's Mudryk. Yes, Some may question the presence of Lukaku and Mudryk after both lost their first games. However, the Belgian could easily have had 2 goals to his name with a bit more luck after the VAR wiped out both of his goals against Slovakia, while Mudryk was one of the only 2 players along with Zinchenko to do anything for Ukraine in the first round. Group F: Portugal, Czech Republic, Turkey, Georgia. And we finish with Group F, which is certainly where the attack will play a major role, and that is why we start with it, positioning the great Cristiano Ronaldo up top, together with the young and sharp Arda Güler from Turkey and Vicha Kvaratskhelia on the wings. Even before the tournament started, it was clear that the two would be the main attacking men for their respective teams, and their performance didn't disappoint. As for Cristiano, the Portuguese is currently playing his 6th European Championship, which itself is a record. Talking of the midfield trio, we do have some odd names, with Inter's Hakan Çalhanoğlu being the most familiar player. He controlled the midline perfectly for Turkey in all of their games so far, and is deservedly wearing the captain armband for his country. Next to him, we have Georgi Kosciuszwili and Lukas Provod. Speaking specifically about their first games for their teams, both were magnificent even though they lost to Turkey and Portugal respectively. While Kosciuszwili was an unfamiliar name to many, he showed a serious amount of creativity and improvisation in their first goal ever for Georgia at Euros. As for Provod, he scored one of the very best strikes from distance at this Euros, and his goal was much like the one by Stanciu against Ukraine. And finally, our defence will be structured by Georgia goalkeeper Mamardashvili, Turkey and Portugal fullbacks Mert Mulder and Nuno Mendes, as well as Pepe and the young Czech talent Ladislav Krejci as the centre halves. Of course, these are our picks for the best performing players in the Euro 2024 group stage, so feel free to share your thoughts as well. Also, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Blue Card channel, and check the Copa America upload you see on your screen right now. And, as always, enjoy the football vibes with your friends and family, and catch you in the next one.